Ride on the track.
Home team. What's happening, home team? This boy Blakberry coming back at you with another post-game reaction. The Atlanta Falcons, they dropped a hard win today against the Los Angeles Chargers at home in Mercedes-Benz Stadium. We got to unpack how Kirk Cousins looked. We got to unpack how the defense looked after the bye. We got to unpack a lot of things. So I'm going to dive right into it. But before I do, make sure you're paying attention to the bottom of the screen. Go hit up HomeTeamFits.com. Get your home team apparel at HomeTeamFits.com. At HomeTeamFits.com, you can represent for your home team. So make sure you go do that. But listen, give me a thumbs up. Give me some red and black. Some of that, if you can hear your boy. Let me know you're in the chat. Let me know everything good with the sound, with the audio, all that good stuff. Ooh, man, boy, you said it. Oh, yeah, we definitely go get it. Madness, if you're able to, click the link. I put it in the chat. I put it in the group chat. If you're able to, Madness, click the link. Listen, man. Today, the Falcons went into this game, and you can see that they made the changes on defense that everybody was wanting to see. They came up on the line of scrimmage. They didn't give receivers so much room to roam. Ladd McConkey was killing us in chunks early, but that's just because Ladd McConkey is very good at getting open. That's just because of that. And clearly, they didn't have nobody else to throw the ball to because out of the 100-something 60, I think, yards or so that Justin Herbert had, 114 or 16 of them came from Ladd McConkey in the first half. So, yeah, it's not like they was doing anything that we just couldn't beat, or they was doing anything we just couldn't figure out how to defend it or how to offend it. The Chargers did absolutely nothing today to win this game outside of taking advantage of the mishaps and the mistakes that the Falcons continue to do. All the mistakes. Everything that they continue to do wrong. The Chargers were there to pick up the pieces and capitalize on it. With that being said, though, other than the pick six and one of the other picks, they had 10 points off of turnovers today. They had 10 points off of turnovers. The pick six with the extra point and a field goal. Outside of that, they didn't do anything that we couldn't figure out. This is the thing. I said before this game, on Thursday on the Rich Pit, if you establish the run against this Chargers team, this just might be one of them games where you can run it more than you throw it. This definitely was one of those games where Tyler Algier and Bijan Robinson was supposed to have career-type days. And it could have got to that. It could have been that. The run game was working. And the more we know, the more you open up, the more you open up these defenses with the run, with the Falcons late in games, Tyler Algier gonna get that, gonna be fresh towards the end. He gonna eat. Bijan gonna be done already ate. They did together. They just gonna pack you out. But we couldn't do that this time around. We couldn't do that. Why? Because when we would switch it up a little bit, mix up the pass in there, Kirk Cousins would throw an interception. You can't listen. Interceptions are on no one but the quarterback. I don't give a goddamn if it was a questionable play call. I don't give a damn if the defense baited them into throwing in a certain place. You 13 years in this league. You are supposed to be the veteran of veterans at quarterback right now in this league. That's what you're supposed to be right now. The veteran of veterans in the NFL. And you play for the Falcons. You're supposed to know not to throw the ball in certain situations at certain times. You got to throw the ball away, throw it in the dirt, get rid of it. You got to do something. You cannot continue to put the ball in harm's way the way Kirk Cousins did today. You would think he would know that, being the veteran quarterback that we know he is. D. Cobra said reluctantly. What's up with you, D. Cobra? In the first quarter, we get the ball. Okay, we get the ball first. We can't convert on third. We end up having to kick the ball away. Defense comes up with a nice. Oh, actually, no, sorry. We get down on the first drive, moving the ball down the field with ease, get held up somewhere around the red zone, and your boy Younghoe Koo misses another field goal. That's the first drive. The next drive for the first drive for the Chargers, defense makes a good play in the backfield with a strip sack. We recover the ball. Carl Phillips recovers the ball. We get the ball back. We drive down the field. We score a touchdown to make it a 7-0 game. Should have been a 10-0 game if you don't have the Koo missed field goal. Now the scores of this game ended 17-3. I want people to think about this. The score is 17-3. 17-13. That's the end score of this game. That means we only scored 6 more points the entire game. We only scored 6 more points from the second drive since our second drive on offense in this entire game. Since the second drive, we only scored 6 more points. But we got the veteran of veterans in quarterbacks with Kirk Cousins. This dynamic offense. Nobody's hurt. We have everybody playing. Drake is there. Moon is there. McLeod, Ray is there. Pitts is there. Algier and Robin and Bijan are there. There's nobody missing. Nobody. Warner is there. There's nobody missing. You have the entire offense at your disposal. Zach Robinson, the entire offense at your disposal. You can't score with 7 points, but 13 points on offense. Your defense, who we've been so critical of, Raheem Morris. Your defense, who we've been so critical of, Jimmy Lake. You actually put together the game plan. Everybody's been looking for you to put together with this defense. You finally move DBs up to the line of scrimmage so they can play receivers tighter or they can press. You finally do that, and we finally see pressure generated enough from the front line that they get sacks. We finally see the dressing for Caden Ellis to finally get penetration and be able to generate him a sack and a half. We finally get to see that just for Zach Robinson and the offense not to have their shit together after a bye week. Indictment on Kirk Cousins. You should know better. 13 years in the game. When, where, how, why on throws. You're supposed to know this. When, where, why, how, and who. You're supposed to know this better than anybody. When, where, why, how, and who. You should know Kirk Cousins better than anybody in these situations. Yet, you throw 4 interceptions. 4. One of which generated in a pick six. What happened to the Kirk Cousins in the first quarter of the season? In the first two quarters of the season, where's the Kirk Cousins from the first two quarters of the season that had the moxie, that had the wisdom, that had the clutch gene, that was responsible with the football? Well, actually, he ain't been totally responsible with the football all year. We know that. But where's the Kirk Cousins that everybody was swag surfing with? Where that Kirk Cousins at? Bring your corner ass back. We need corner ass Kirk Cousins to come back, because whoever this Kirk Cousins is, we don't recognize him here in Atlanta. Maybe Minnesota Viking fans know who this Kirk Cousins is. You shouldn't have introduced this Kirk Cousins to Atlanta. We don't want to know him. We don't want to know this Kirk Cousins. We was hoping this Kirk Cousins stayed his ass up in Minnesota. That's what we was hoping. And ironically, this Kirk Cousins is rearing his ugly head right now, and we have to play the Minnesota Vikings next week. Does anybody not see the universe playing tricks on us right now, Falcon fans? The universe is fucking with us right now. Everything we ask for with this team, when we finally get it, they gon' fuck us somewhere else with this team. Past couple games with Denver and Skanks, we say, okay, the offense, we give y'all a couple games to have some woes. It's a new offense, new coordinator. You're still trying to get your bearings, even at this time of the season. We understood that. We said the defense has to step up. It has to be the defense that steps up so that we can get over this regular season hump. It has to be them. Once the defense step up, we'll see the offense and the defense complement one another. That's what the goal was. That's what everybody's thinking. Let's see who we got. Big Magnus, my guy. I know, man. I know, man. I can hear you. I got you.
All right. You know, I'll put it like this, bro. I've been listening to everything that you've been saying. And I don't think that we're in any kind of different situation than the New York Jets are. You know?
Oh, shit.
What I see is just two old men that had the same injury, just going about their business and trying to get to the end of the season just to prove something to themselves. And it's at the detriment of two actually pretty decent teams that could have been in playoff contention. One that still is, and that's us.
Right.
But when I see the Jets in the beginning of the season, they look like a contending team. They did. Defensively and all that. It was like we're just a quarterback away. Does that sound familiar? Because basically that's what happened. That's what we were saying amongst ourselves.
Yeah.
That all we need is like consistent quarterback play, and we'll be all right. Then the draft comes around, and then we double dip. We get our vet. We got our young bull. He's going to sit. He's going to learn. Penix ain't learning nothing except for like learning how not to throw it to the other team. That's all that Penix is learning right now. He's just sitting there looking at that like, I wouldn't do that. I ain't throwing it. I wouldn't throw it like that. Now I throw it a little bit harder when it comes to that out route, but 4 picks when in actuality it could have been 6. I count 6. I think Mike said about 5, but I count 6 because if it wasn't for Poona Ford, I believe that number 0, I believe that's who it was, would have picked that ball off, and that could have been another pick 6. So
does it seem like the timetable has sped up even more so when you think about what you just said about Penix being the understudy for Kirk Cousins? You want him to be learning good things. Of course, you can learn from what not to do too, but you still want him to be getting that tutelage from leading by example. You still want him to get that. But if the examples he's getting are on the negative side of the game, does that speed up the timetable also with Penix where, oh no, we can't let him continue to sit behind this because all this going to do is rub off on him, sort of speak, in a way. Because how is he really learning from it? How is he really learning from somebody if they're constantly going out and they're not practicing what they preach in practice?
Right. And it seems like it's not it's not translating or nothing like that. That's what it seems like. Everything that they've been talking about, is not translating to the actual game. Like you talking about 6 picks and no touchdowns, within the past 3 games?
Yeah, that looks really bad.
And it seems like obviously at this point, I don't even know how you can pick up Kyle Pitts' option if he's totally he's out there just doing cardio. He's just getting the steps in.
You got it. It's some things that I think if we're playing GM and we're looking at how things are unfolding right now, and we look at the money, we look at the contract, then we look at the personnel, and we try to think, well, what is the goal? What is the direction? See, only really Terry Fontenot and Arthur Blank, really only they know the true objective for this season. Yeah. The fans have to be fed, hey, we can contend, we can compete. We just go to, come to the game, support the team. We can do this, we can do that. We're going to be the fans have to be fed positivity. But when they sit down at that conference table, only really they know the true objective for this season. So if I see this, if I see Michael Penix show his face, if we see have a Michael Penix, if we see Michael Penix start next week, if we see him start against Minnesota, we gonna know that it came from upstairs. Hey, I don't give a fuck what you said in that press conference. Right. Kirk Cousins finna sit his motherfucking ass down. You finna put the young buck in, and we finna see what we got with him. We gonna see what we can do with the young buck. That'll let me know that upstairs is saying, hey, man, hey, look, hey, we want to try to see if we can contend now while we got Kirk Cousins here. Because when it's time to make moves, when it's time to trade, when it's time to make moves, we need to be able to get some value back for Kirk Cousins, for Pitts, for whoever that we put on that trade block. We can't get true value if they funking up the damn field. Then other teams be like, oh well, he's spoiled goods. He's spoiled goods.
I was saying that during the game, brother. I was like, man, I said, Kirk Cousins ruining his trade value by throwing all these picks.
Yeah.
I was like, that 3 is probably turning into a 4th round pick, man, if he keeps doing it like this. But I'm gonna be perfectly real with you, and I totally agree with you. It's not just up to the coach, because sometimes the GM can oversee you and say, hey, we need to see what's going on with this guy, because guess what? Penix is also 25 years old. Penix may be only good for maybe 2 contracts. So it ain't like he's 21 and you could possibly get a third one out of there. No, he's 25. So we're actually losing a year if he doesn't start. Let's say, like, hypothetically, we say he doesn't start. Okay, fine. That means we lose a year. So that means we got 4 years probably to get this right, to see if he is the guy. 4 short years. Then he's 30 years old, right? So now we got to hope that we build a team around him before he probably start in that regression, I mean, God forbid, or whatever like that. But we have 4 years to get this right where you hit your prime. And then we'll be in like the Dak Prescott issue, like what happened with the Dallas Cowboys. You know what I mean? So what I'm saying is we have to find out as soon as possible. And right now, 6 picks, 0 touchdowns, and you wasted I was talking about this, Blakberry. I know you probably remember this, is that we saw a Zach Robinson masterpiece when Kirk was throwing for 500 yards on primetime TV. We saw it.
Mm-hmm.
And we was waiting for, in terms of play calling, we was waiting for that moment defensively from Jimmy Lake.
Right.
And we got a taste of it today. We got a
Right.
taste of it. They was stunting. They was playing like in cohesion. They were playing bump. Like they were
Yes.
going for interceptions. They was not playing scared. That was
Right.
like that was the first time I saw like the defense actually playing with the edge, and we wasted it. So it reminded me of what happened in the Arthur Smith era last year, where how many different defensive, I ain't gonna say masterpieces, but how many times have the defense bailed the offense out because they can't get the job done. The NFL, Blackberry, is an offensive league. Why can't they score? Oh, see,
What's up, Maggie?
you come on here. Yeah, we're gonna have a talk because normally I don't do stuff like this, but my contract is coming up. Okay, that's why I said I equal ratings. But anyway, no, but real talk though. Like I believe that it has to be the time because I'm gonna ask you a question. How soon do you lose the team? We're about 12 games in now. There's only 5 left. How soon do we lose the team? Like Justin Simmons decided to come here. Like come on, Jesse Bates decided to come here.
That's a damn good question because now you saw, and I don't know if anybody else saw this. After the defense playing so well, I saw energized Matt Judon on the sideline. Yeah. Now I'm talking sideline behavior, sideline body language.
Yeah,
I see Judon amped up. I see Jesse amped up. Justin amped up. I'm seeing Grady revived life in himself. D Awful back from injury, playing at a high level again. So, like you said, if you continue with the bullshit, at what point does the guys on the team that we know make differences in games that matter? See, right now we've been testy about the shit that don't matter. Well, Mango say they don't matter, but it's regular season. But when it come time to play for some shit, the guys that make the differences, the playmakers, the Jesse Bates, the Justin Simpsons, the Matt Judons, don't, like you said, those guys wanted to come here. They decided to come here. At what point do you lose them with, hey man, I ain't got no faith in the people calling the shots around this motherfucker, and you lose them? That's a damn good question.
That's what I'm saying. Like, because it's like being at work, and I'm sure like everybody here has like that one coworker that doesn't pull the amount of weight that you do. So it makes you.
Everybody got that coworker.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. And if you feel offended by this, you probably are that coworker.
You one of them.
Sorry, but yes. So
you is them.
When my thing is, when you clock in, you lock in. That's for anything. You're paid to do a job, and you're paid handsomely to do a job. Why are you not prepared? Why is it that every single week, outside of the special teams, because it seems like they're always prepared, any kind of fake punt or whatever like that, those guys are always prepared.
Right.
Offense and defensively, there's always some sort of like flat stuff going on. Blackberry, when was the last time that you saw the Atlanta Falcons have 5 sacks in a game? Outside of Adrian Claiborne, because that don't count. Okay, so like as a collective, without blitzing and just sending 4, they were just sending 4 and getting home, bro.
Hey man, it's been a long time, man. If we erase the Adrian Claiborne game against the Cowboys, it's been a long time. What I can say is this though: if with the defense finally playing how we been wanting them to play all year long, a couple things might have happened here. One, maybe you played that hand a little too early. Maybe. Because if you were saving your best for this half of the season, You maybe should have continued to play 7+ yards or so off the ball and not give other other offenses something to damn, feed, something to study when your offense is playing like hot garbage and can't put up points. So you had Troy Anderson back. He played the whole game. I didn't see him. I didn't see any minute restrictions on him today. I think he played the entire game. So you had Troy Anderson back. You had D. Alpha back. Maybe you can continue to play how you've been playing and still be able to do something defensively, because I felt like that the way that they played defense was so that they could attack the ball better and create more turnovers. Because when you're playing man coverage, it's hard to get turnovers. You can get pass breakups and all that, but it's harder to get turnovers. So they playing off like that. They think they can increase the turnover ratio. That's cool. I didn't have no problem with it. I just wanted them to start mixing it up more so that it don't look so fucking obvious that every time you come to the line, you finna play 7+ yards off the damn ball. But today they went on. They played it. They played the hand that everybody been wanting them to play. But your offense was ass. Now you know what? I take that back. Your offense was not ass. It wasn't. We was able to move the ball up and down the field. The problem was this on 4th down. This one of the problems, not the problem, but one of the problems. Mm-hmm. On the first 4th down conversion, you ran a 5-yard out to the left side of the field. The very next 4th down conversion, you run a 5-yard out to the right side of the field. So if I've done proper homework as a defensive player, I've studied that this is something that they do when they want to convert 4th downs. They like to go outside. They think the athleticism, the big receivers, they think one of those two factors is going to help them convert on 4th with an accurate Kirk Cousins. Okay, yeah, most of the time, unless you do it all the damn time. So then, therefore, somebody's going to be sitting on it at some point. Somebody going to take advantage of that. That's a Zach Robinson issue. That's a not knowing how to do anything else other than what you always do. You got to give them something else. It's like in the Georgia Tech game. You got 8 overtimes because finally Georgia figured out, let's just hand it off to the damn running back so we can run it up the goddamn middle for a few yards. They finally figured that shit out 8 overtimes later. So it's you got to know how to mix it up, Zach Robinson. You can't just keep relying on the talent. And I think that's something that finally the defense figured out today. We can't keep relying on just these guys having the ability to make plays. The D offers, Jesse Bates, Justin Simmons. We can't just keep relying on that. At some point, we're going to have to jazz up the defense a little bit, get creative with the pass rush game, allow these guys to be able to come up and be more physical. We gotta scheme these guys to bring the best out of them. Offensively, they didn't do that today because first of all, let Cool get his sorry ass out there and kick the damn field goal after you couldn't get the first damn 4th down conversion. Give your defense something to go out there and be like, hey, they believe in us. They leaving it up to us to go out here and make a stop. You might have told your defense today in this game, you might have told your defense, oh, hell, they don't think we can go out there and make a stop. Now, I get it. Cool, been missing field goals. So that also plays a part in them going for it on 4th. But at some point, after the first damn 4th down missed conversion that went for a pick 6, after that one, kick the damn field goal. Kick the field goal. Give these guys, let your defense know that you believe you can hang your hat on them at the end of the day. Especially when they've been playing so well all game anyway. Now, McConkey, he ate you up early, but that's just because McConkey is a little demon out there running routes. Luckily for us, to be honest, he was a little banged up because he could have continued to do that if you ask me. But
he was going to. He was going to. It wasn't even could have. He would.
Yeah, he was going to.
Yeah.
He was going to do that if he wasn't banged up. So he not only had the shoulder problem, but he got up gimpy a little bit after that last drive in the first half, I think. So you gotta just, if you Zach Robinson, man, first of all, if I'm Raheem, I'm having a one-on-one with Zach Robinson, and then I'm having a one-on-one with Kirk Cousins. And I'm like, listen, I went after I talked to Zach, because all I'm telling Zach is, hey man, I brought you in here. Don't make me look bad. You making me look bad. And then I'm going to Kirk, and I'm telling Kirk, look, I just had a conversation with you, offensive coordinator, and I'm telling you, like I told him, don't make us look bad with the bullshit. Because this was crazy, right? I can't remember who it was. It might have been Pitts on that interception in the end zone. He got a man right in front of him. He got a receiver crossing right in front of him, and Kirk Cousins lines it up in the damn end zone for anybody to
get. Man, listen. At this point, like what I said earlier in the pre-show, man, Kyle Pitts is what he is. He gives up on plays. The work ethic's not there. Now, do I think that an infusion of youth, an infusion of engine number 9, maybe would try to turn it? I don't know. Like, is that what it's gonna take? I don't know, because when you're in your head, you're in your head. There's something wrong with you saying, like, you're making me look bad. Raheem's already looking bad when it came to the defense, because we're 32nd in the league when it came, like, quarterbacks are throwing 71% against our defense because he was playing 7 yards off. 71%. That is disgusting. Okay. Now, what we do with Kyle Pitts, I understand why people felt the way they felt about Brock Bowers. Because seeing, like, what he do, what he's doing at this point, seeing when you see the Porters, when you see the Tucker Crafts, when you see the Kittles, and even to a lesser extent Dallas Goedert, when you see people like that, it's like, why can't we have stuff like that, right? And now when you look at this, and then let's just put this all together right now. Zach Robinson came from LA as well as Raheem Morris. The difference with the situation is that Kirk's arm is dead. Matthew Stafford has a live arm. I don't care how old he is. That's a former baseball player. That dude still has a cannon for an arm that he can make those out routes, that he could put some pepper on it when need to. When Kirk throws the ball, it looks like a beach ball sometimes. It just floats out there. Especially when it came to that pick six. Well, yeah, Josh. That's true too. That's true too. And he's not even a focal point. And he's having almost exactly. So when you look at it, for the type of offense that I believe that Zach Robinson is trying to run, I don't think that he came here or accepted this job to coach Kirk Cousins. I believe that he was trying to do like a one and done, and then move on to the future and coach this young man in Penix. Now, going back to what we were saying, I believe that you have to save your season eventually, because we got Minnesota coming up. And if you think that Brian Flores is not going to blitz the absolute hell out of Kirk Cousins, you got another thing coming. And Dre Greenlaw has about 10.5 sacks, I believe, coming into next week. So good luck to us. You know what I'm saying? So,
when we acquired Kirk Cousins, I was saying, I don't know if I like this damn pickup. I don't know if I like it. It was the Achilles. It was the long in the tooth in the league, the 12 years in the league. It was that he's already a statue for a quarterback as it is. You're giving him a torn Achilles and bringing him off of that after 12 years of playing in the league as a statue. That I was already like, hey man, they paid him a lot of money, but I don't know if he'll be here more than 2 years. 2 years is the ceiling. 1 year is ideal.
Right.
And when we drafted Penix, it solidified that for me because I was like, okay, yeah. So the young boy, he gets some tutelage under a veteran quarterback. We can at least contend for a year, and this guy can come in, and it could be a Patrick Mahomes situation. Maybe it could.
Right.
So, that's what we was looking at, and Kirk Cousins started being clutch. That clutch gene was happening. So it was like, hey man, if he can win games like this, he can put the team on his back like this late in games. Hey man, he get us through this year, he'll be here next year too. Which I still think is true. Which I'm still, like I said, to be determined. There's a lot that still has to happen for anything to change as far as how they wrote it all up on how they scripted it for it to go this year for the Falcons, meaning Terry Fontenot and Arthur Blank and everybody in management. See, if it's still to be determined, that's why it's going to let us know everything we need to know if Michael Penix is starting next week. I don't give a damn what your boy said in his press conference today. We already know he'll lie straight clean through his big ass teeth. We already know that. He'll lie straight clean through them big ass teeth. So I don't give a damn what he's saying about bringing Kirk back. Yeah, you bring him back, he'll dress on the bench. He'll dress. But that don't mean he's going to be playing. So it's going to tell us a lot if Penix play next week. Because if Penix play, that's going to let me know it's coming from upstairs. Like, hey, we got an agenda. Kirk is throwing us out of the agenda right now. We might have to speed up the Penix timeline. Where are we on that right now, Raheem Morris? That's the conversation with Arthur Blank, Terry Fontenot, and Raheem Morris. Where are we on Penix? How is he looking in practice? Does he have the playbook down? Does he look fluent in his decision making? Because listen, y'all, they still have practices. They still throughout the week are evaluating the guys that the guys that are understudied to the guys that play. So where is Michael Penix? We may need to move this timeline up. What are your plans? I can bet you your bottom dollar right now that Arthur Blank already got a scheduled meeting Monday morning for him to sit down and talk with Raheem Morris one-on-one. I can guarantee you that's already in the books. It ain't gonna happen today because it's after the game, it's family time, it's other money to be made in other places, other things to do. But tomorrow, I bet you're going to have that sit down with Raheem asking him, where's Penix in the development process right now? Because I may be telling you going to play him. Now, we know Art Blank ain't one of them guys. But
he might be
one of them guys. But we just don't know. He just might be one of them guys. He might be somebody from all Goodfellas. He just might be that.
Blakberry, Arthur Blank is from Queens, New York, man. He got some a-hole in him, man.
He gangster.
Yeah.
He gangster.
Yeah.
And so today, listen, man, I think we all can look at these games. Hey, look, the turnovers killed us. That's obvious. It's the turnovers. The run game was working.
Not just the turnovers, though. Blakberry, it's the fact of 4 when it could have been 6. That's what it is. I think people could, if we lost by the same score and we played differently, and maybe Kirk throws 2. Well, first of all, he missed Mooney. He missed 2 passes with Mooney where that ball died and went straight into the ground. Now you remember those, right?
Yes.
He could have walked right in for a touchdown on that first drive, and that ball just died on him. I think his arm is cooked, and he ain't saying it. The same thing like what they're saying the same thing about Aaron. because they're saying the same thing about Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers, they telling him Aaron Rodgers to go get an MRI, and he's refusing to do it because they're going to tell you, because MRI's sole
Gonna tell you the
function is to
truth.
tell you what's wrong with. They're going to tell you the truth and what's wrong with you. That's the thing. And if for someone that's 36 years old, you got a young bull behind you that got arm talent, that got serious arm talent. And if I know that this thing is bothering me, I know my Achilles, you know, it's gimpy, it's here and it's there, depending on, you know, what kind of day it is. We all know when you wake up in the morning, sometimes like all us older guys, you wake up and sometimes you get up too fast and you feel dizzy. You know, like I believe that Kirk has those days when he gets up and it's just like, you know, he got that Achilles, and when you're throwing and you're trying to throw with power, it's from the bottom up. Now,
you got to be able to step into a throw, You
got to step into it. Now, for some reason, Vic, Mahomes, these guys that got these cannons for arm, they have serious arm talent. So they can afford to do it. Like Michael Penix has a 3/4 throw. It's all shoulder. It's all shoulder. But with Penix, with Kirk, it seems like he's trying to like when you see the way he throws, it looks like Peyton Manning after he came from that neck injury, where he's like he's really trying to like get into it, and the ball is dying on him. So I know that it's the same thing like what happened with Jaden Daniels. Everything looked good in the beginning of the season until he got tape on it, right? Now people got tape on Kirk, and they're like, "Yo, that ball is floating out of there on those out routes. Why should I even sit there and play quarters coverage when I know you look, first of all, I know you can't run past me. And if you do run past me, your quarterback can't get it to you. So I'm gonna sit on this route. I'm gonna sit on this route. And that's exactly what I never heard of that dude before. Have you ever heard of Still? Is his name?
No, he's a rookie.
I never heard of him before. I never heard of this dude before. And Kirk
I don't even know if he was drafted. He might be an undrafted rookie.
Dude, the way he was running that ball back, I thought that was Asante Samuel Jr. I thought that's who I thought that who it was, but again, like when I look at this, and I think what we're doing right now is like we're trying to preserve the season, because when you look at it, it's the same thing that happened for the Giants when Kurt Warner was there, and they drafted Eli Manning. Kurt Warner, about midway through the season, was cooked, and they're like, "All right, we got to turn the page now. We got to see what we got with this kid now." It happens all the time throughout the league. That sometimes, to your credit, what you said, sometimes you got to fast track the future. And a lot of people are scared of it because the future is unknown. That is the basis of fear. And when you don't know what's around the corner, it scares you to death. You know, but, I mean, because we went through this with the Mariota thing. Like, Arthur Smith was staying with Mariota too long. And then we was like, okay, let's see what Dez got. And then we saw what Dez had, and then it looked a little different, and it gave the team a little bit of juice. But unfortunately, things didn't work out the way it did. And I think people are a little bit fearful because of that. Like, is he ready? Is he ready? You're not going to know somebody ready until, like, you put them out there to see if they're ready. Like, you didn't know that you was able to drive a truck until you was able to go out there and see. Anybody can sit there and simulate it, but you didn't know how good you was until you got on the open road, brother. We got to see what the kid can do.
That's how it is. That's how it is. What got you there was fundamentals, discipline, and your talent.
Yeah.
What's going to keep you there is the ability to adapt, evolve, and discipline. That's going to keep you there. Let's keep this a buck. If you can make it to the NFL, you can make it to the NBA, you can make it to the Major League Baseball, you can make it to soccer, to the Major League Soccer. If you can make it to the big leagues, you got what it takes to go out there and be all you can be. You have that ability. The difference in the guys that go on to have long, lengthy careers or to be difference makers on teams is their ability to adapt and evolve and their discipline. That's the difference. Now, some guys, skills are, of course, eclipse others, but you made it that far because you really just did everything you were supposed to do. And you're talented. You're already talented. So when it comes to these quarterbacks, Patrick Mahomes, he was projected to go second round. He went late in the first. He sat behind Alex Smith If Alex Smith don't get hurt towards the end of the season, he don't play to the next season.
Right.
So the same thing with Tom Brady. If
Bledsoe.
if Bledsoe don't get hurt, Tom Brady don't play that year. So it's all about circumstance. Right now, the circumstance is that you have a 13-year statue that's coming off a torn Achilles that clearly is a little shell shocked. Clearly, he's a little shell shocked because I don't even think it's physical with the arm. Because you're right about the arm, it done lost a lot. I don't think it's physical. I think it's mental. Early in the season, it was he had a lot of distractions around him with this is a new team I'm on, this a new coordinator I'm dealing with, this new receivers, everything. All that stuff is a distraction. So it's like the student in him is saying, hey, I got to learn this person, I got to learn this playbook. So there's a distraction there, and he's a professional. But now it's, hey man, I don't have no excuses now not to perform well. I've been with this group long enough to know how to throw the ball to who. I've been with this group long enough to know this playbook. I know this coordinator. There's no excuses now. So now he's in his head. Now it's mental. Now it's I cannot afford to fuck up.
Right.
And because he's thinking that.
Oh my bad, man. You know, when you was talking about mental, right? And coming back from injuries and stuff like that. Well, we have a quarterback that's 2 years removed from two major, lower body injuries, and that's Penix. And not only did he come back, but he came back and led his team to the national championship game. If that ain't mental toughness, I don't know what is. That's why when he came in and you listen to his interviews, he's unshaken. That's why when he said that, guys are running wide open, like with this offense, he's wide-eyed. He's digesting the playbook the way Zach Robinson wants it to look like. Zach Robinson is adjusting the playbook to Kirk Cousins' skill set. I think that's the difference between the two, and I think that's what it is. Like when you have a guy that fits your system, because I think that's why they got him at 8. Because I'm sure, because that's why they, like Raheem Morris said, we flew all the way to Seattle or Washington rather to see you throw in the rain. That was a final test for us. We knew you had it from us talking to you during the interviews and all that, but we had to see like one final test to see what you can do. And we were sold. So we had to take you at 8. We had to, because you was not going to be there. We would sacrifice going edge to take you, because we believe that you are our future and that we don't believe that we're going to be drafting this high anymore. So we had a double dip, and I understand that. But Zach Robinson's offense is tailor-made for Michael Penix Jr. It is. Zach Robinson is adjusting it for Kirk Cousins. He's adjusting it. That's the issue, right? That's the problem right there. That's the problem. So that's all I got to say with that. Take it for what you will, like chat. I'm just saying.
If you go back and watch Minnesota games with Kirk Cousins, something that you're gonna see is Justin Jefferson running more mid-range routes, over the top routes. Everybody else, Adam Thielen and all those guys, everybody else, they running underneath, they running quick slants, sideline stuff. Justin Jefferson is pretty much doing everything while everybody else is keeping it underneath. Hawkinson, one of those tight ends that he ran tight end routes. They wasn't trying to do anything, majestic with Hawkinson. He ran tight end routes. So he's getting the targets from Kirk Cousins, because Kirk understands where he's going to be when he does get the ball, whether it's check down, whether it's out, whatever the case is on a drag. Hawkinson's ran through routes. I think the problem with Pitts is that he done lost some trust out of Kirk, not running through routes, giving up on routes. One we've seen him give up on, and others that maybe Kirk has seen him give up on, and he didn't give him the ball. So he's lost some trust with Kirk. With that being said, you got to get the ball to who's open, and you got to be able to throw receivers open. All of this, what we done seen so far with Kirk Cousins, it's a bit uncharacteristic because he's had bad games in Minnesota, but I don't think I've ever seen him play this bad like he played today with his decision making. The decision making today wasn't that of a 13-year veteran at quarterback in the NFL. This was not that kind of day. This was a Desmond Ridder second year in the league, just now getting this opportunity to start day. That's how he looked today. He looked like Desmond Ridder 2023. That's how Kirk Cousins looked today. The past couple weeks, the Denver game, the Skanks game, hey man, it is what it is. And Madness, he must have had the deal. But I listen, man. I don't know. Maybe y'all let me know down there in the chat. What do you think today's game is? What do you point at to in this game that says Kirk Cousins? Because I didn't see anything that lets me know that. The way he played today, I honestly quite feel like he's going to show up next week and play the same way. I don't see any. The only thing that can help Kirk Cousins right now is Zach Robinson coming up with a game plan to make sure that he becomes dink and dunk Kirk Cousins. Well, he's dinking and dunking it all game long. Maybe take a deep shot here and there, but mostly just 5 yards over the line of scrimmage. Zach Bijan Robinson, Tyler Algier, Kyle Pitts, Ray McLeod, Drake London and Mooney. Good luck getting the ball next week. Zach Robinson gonna dial up a game plan where we only dumping this thing off in the flats, but we dumping this thing off 5 yards across the line of scrimmage. Good luck, Mooney and Drake getting the ball next week. That's what I'm hoping to see. Because if you're going to play Kirk Cousins, then I don't want to see him slinging the ball next week. I don't want to see it. I want to see you get him back into a flow, back into a rhythm of throwing the ball and getting completions. Because right now, the completions aren't coming that many. Corey Gill-Fire say, I don't even see things changing with Penix. This offensive scheme can't score under pressure. That's Corey Gill-Fire say. You don't see nothing changing under Penix. You don't think the scheme is good. I can't excuse me. I'm not gonna disagree with you because I'm one of those people. When it comes to somebody proving that they can do something, I gotta see them do it. I gotta see you do it. I can see what your attributes are. I can see what your skill set is. I can see all of those things. I can see you done it somewhere else for a period of time. But when you're somewhere new and when you're at another level of what you have to do, which is Penix, I need to see you do it. Evaluating Penix before coming into this season, last season, during the season last year, I was one of the people that said Penix is more NFL ready than the rest of the quarterbacks in his draft class. I honestly saw that. He had the arm talent. He was more arm talented. He was better in the pocket than everybody in his class. He was more efficient with his throws. He had a more powerful arm than everybody else with his throws. And he looked to be more poised in the pocket and more disciplined as well when it came to running the offense. I saw that in Penix, and I said, hey, and this guy is more ready for the league. But I still need to see him do it at this level before I can say. Now, I hear Madden saying that the Zach Robinson offense is tailor-made for Penix. That may be so. That may be so. It may fit a Penix more so than it does Kirk Cousins, mainly because it involves more rollouts. It involves more athleticism out of your quarterback. So I can agree to that, but I need to see him do it. Now, if the effectiveness that it has right now in the Kirk Cousins is not a bad effect. What's happening with Kirk Cousins in his offense is exactly like what some guys were saying on some earlier post-game reactions on Mad Mike Sports and Six Man K Styles and all those guys and Schmitty. Everybody's saying the same thing. And they're right. Kirk Cousins trying to do too much. He's trying to do too much. He's trying to put the team on his shoulders, on his back when he don't have to. See, you do that when you have to do it. You do that when nobody else can seem to be making a difference during the game. The defense can't seem to get a stop. Running backs can't seem to get to find space to get loose on some runs. The offensive line is struggling in the run blocking. Receivers are dropping the ball. Whatever the case is, everything's not working. So you got to put the team on your back. Kirk Cousins trying to do that, and he don't have to. Bijan Robinson is ripping it up. Once again, Tyler Algier averaging 4 yards a carry. Drake London is making catches, even though he had a drop. He had a couple drops, actually. But they were well-contested drops. But still, they were drops. I get it. Guys are able to get open. Your defense is playing outstanding. There's no reason to try to put the game on your back. If I'm Zach Robinson on those fourth downs, who missed that first field goal? I get it. They started reporting that he had a hip issue. I get it. But he went out there, he made the next two. So therefore, trust that your defense can continue to go out there and make the plays that they need to make. Go kick the field goal. Your defense had a momentum and they had motivation that now they're inspired. They've inspired themselves with their play. You've given them the ability, you've given them the reins now to be able to go up, to come up on the line, do some more press coverage, play a little close up on the line, not letting receivers get all that space open, giving your defensive line a second or two more to be able to generate more pressure and be able to come up with some sacks. That is what I've been talking about all damn year long. The interior pressure. You get the pressure up the middle, and you'll start to see the rest of the defense come to life. But you have to move guys up. You got to move DBs up and stop giving these slot receivers so much space to be able to make plays in the slot. On the outside, we get it. You can't play press on the outside all the time. But inside, ain't no goddamn way I'm giving up all that damn space. So when you allow the DBs to come up, the pressure in the middle gets better. Now you see a defense that can flourish. Now you see that it ain't that we don't got the talent. That's been some people's headline the past few weeks. That we don't have the talent on the defense. That's not true. These guys were being played out of place, and the scheme was not right. Now, today, we saw what happened when you let them DBs come up and play physical. We saw what happens. Caden Ellison getting the pressure we used to seeing him getting when he was in New Orleans. That's why he's even here in the first damn place. His pressure rate when he rushes the quarterback. And when he is in coverage, he's covering the flats. He's covering the flats. He's covering the low drags. He's not covering anybody 10 yards off the damn ball. Now we see the effectiveness that you have when you play these guys in the position they need to be in. You had D. Alpha back and you had Troy Anderson back. That played a major difference today defensively. Having those two guys back and finally allowing the defense to play more physical. We've been asking for it all year long. Now we see the pressure. Now we see the sacks. Now we ain't jumping down 17 throat. Now we ain't jumping down Judon throat. Now we ain't jumping down Caden Ellis and all them guys' throat. Because now we see the scheme working for them, bringing the best out of them and not just relying on their talent to be able to make plays. What we got? We're going to start wrapping this up, too. Corey Goodbye said the same thing Mariota was doing, Cousins is doing, trying to be there, still good enough to start instead of just winning. Cousins doing the same thing Mariota was doing. Yeah. You say watching Ellis trying to cover DK Metcalf still. That don't make no fucking sense, man. And coordinators are going to design plays to where they're going to get mismatches. Now, you're playing a 3-4. Linebackers are going to have to cover running backs, and they're going to have to cover slot receivers. That's just what you do. That's just what it's going to be when you're running a 3-4 defense. You can't get away from it. What you teach your linebackers is this. You teach them how to play the space and how to play the ball. If you tell them to play the receiver, you're setting them up for failure. You're setting your defense up for failure. You show them how to play the space and how to play the ball. This is something that made guys like Patrick Willis and Ray Lewis, Brian Urlacher, Clay Matthews. These guys didn't necessarily they can't cover nobody foot for foot. So they knew how to play the space. They knew how to play the ball. That's why you could rely on them in the middle of the field, because they know how to play the space and the ball. If you teach that, these guys can play in a 3-4 defense. They don't have to rely on speed. They don't have to rely on ability. William Waddle says he was on McConkey tonight, and that was a bad idea. Well, tonight they played a lot of tonight. Today we played a lot of excuse me. We played a lot of man today, but our linebackers played a lot of shit, I can't get it out. They played a lot of Tampa in the middle of the field. Let's just put it that way. I saw Caden Ellis make an adjustment after McConkey got open a few times in that first half. I saw him make an adjustment on playing in space. Instead of him coming up after the snap, he stayed back and allowed himself to be able to feel the space as the ball, as the receivers are coming across the middle. So this way you can make contact with the receiver, and then you can play the ball. Then you can attack the ball. So when I saw that, I said, okay, somebody's talking to him now. Somebody's talking to Caden Ellis now. Okay. And somebody's letting him know, like, hey, this is how you play the space, and this is how you attack the ball. With that being said, y'all, hey man, this is my reaction. I'm finna go ahead and call it a night. All right, y'all. Hey, man, this has been the post-game reaction. Make sure you go to hometeamfits.com and get your home team apparel at hometeamfits.com. We got the holiday stuff up now. So go get your Get Grinched outfits. Go get your ugly Christmas sweaters, all that good stuff for your home team at hometeamfits.com. Also, subscribe, hit that share button, hit that like button, all that good stuff. Y'all make sure y'all make it do what it do. We gonna be all right, y'all. We still first in the division. Let's just see what happens. I think we can turn things around. Whatever moves they decide to make, they better be some good damn moves and they better work. Catch me on the flip side, home team.
Night ride on the train.